So that's that. Then the last thing I have to talk about, and this is a pet peeve of mine, so this is probably going to go on for a few minutes because I'm ranting here. It's late, I'm tired, and I haven't done a vlog in a while. So yeah, be prepared for the rant on this one. I want to talk about accuracy and credibility. One of my very favorite authors that I saw years ago when she did one of her book signings said, and I quote, "Accuracy lends credibility." Now, this is an extreme nitpicky thing of mine. If I'm reading along in a book and I stumble across a factoid or a random sentence or whatever that I know isn't true, that I know is completely like the author not taking creative license but actually screwing up, um, whether or not it's innocent, still, I mean, come on. There are some basic things that can easily be solved by a 5-minute Google search. I mean, really, accuracy lends credibility, and a little research doesn't kill a person. Because I really think that underestimates the intelligence of your audience. And I think it's insulting, actually, sometimes when because either one, you figure that nobody's going to care or notice that you screwed up, or two, you don't care or notice that you screwed up. And if you don't care that much about a small fact in your writing, then what does that say about the rest of your writing? As I said, you either underestimate your audience's intelligence or you just don't give a damn, and that's rude. And I don't like it. There are a couple of books that I have literally thrown across the room for this very fact because, I mean, seriously, if you can't be bothered to do a 5-minute search on your facts, then I'm not going to read your book. I'm sorry. There's a particular author who shall remain nameless, who always gets the makes and models of a particular firearm wrong. And the only reason I know this is because my dad was a big fan of their books, and he was just disgusted with this. He was also an aficionado of firearms, and you know, I am too, but that's beside the point. Antiques are great. Old cars, old guns. It's a lot of fun. I'm into weaponry of all kinds, in case nobody knows that. I like stabby, pointy objects. I collect knives and various other, weaponry. I like this stuff, so I know about it. And people who read your books are going to know about these things. Medications. There's a particular author who, again, shall remain nameless, who I just read, and I literally, this is one of the books that I threw across the room because they had made a particular error with a classification of two perfectly standard drugs. I mean, if you bothered to look up what these drugs mean and what they do, couldn't you have bothered to make sure that you were using them properly? I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what drugs are for. I mean, they make manuals. The Merck manual is online, for crap's sake. So, really, 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes and do your research when you're researching, when you're writing something. It's not going to kill you, and it will really help with your writing. It may just be a nitpicky thing of mine, but really, honestly, if I'm reading along in a novel, even in nonfiction, and someone gets a fact, an easy fact, wrong, then that tells me, then, I'm just not going to finish your book. I'm sorry. I will overlook a lot of things. I understand creative license. I'm a writer myself, so I understand taking an object and creating it and making it fit into your world. But really, if you're going to use an everyday object or an everyday substance for other than its intended purpose, you better damn well justify it and put it in a context that doesn't insult your audience. Just because you can write well doesn't give you license to insult people. They read your books. This is your audience, so don't insult them. Be nice. Respect their intelligence and don't what's the word I'm looking for? It's like superiority complex, but it's not. Don't ruin the suspension of disbelief, is what I'm saying. People read novels to have their beliefs suspended. Don't stretch that, okay? Accuracy lends credibility, so be accurate with what you think is a simple fact, or what you think is something that nobody's going to even notice. That's the one thing they're going to. So keep that in mind when you're writing, and just 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes to figure out what you're trying to say and get it right. Make sure. Ask questions. There are so many books out there that will help you with certain things. Like if you're writing a detective story or a mystery story, get a book on police crime and investigation. There's a great one that I'm just reading right now, and it goes through step by step as to how an autopsy is done and booking procedures and court hearings. I mean, there are resources out there, and people are glad to help you. Go to your local police station if you're writing a detective story, and figure out, go on a ride along. They do these. I mean, you can do this. You can go and ride along with a police officer and actually witness firsthand what's going on. If you don't know about something and you're writing about it, investigate. Go look. Go experience. I mean, they say write what you know. Well, how can you write if you don't know? Okay, that's my rant. I'm sorry. This is getting really long. I should probably quit now. But anyway, that's all I have. At least that's all that's on my note, little Veely. Cup warmer, research, writing, word count, accuracy, lens, credibility, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing really horribly, fun going on in my personal life. Like I said, I'm really busy. I'm working on some projects that I am heavily involved in, and I'm really loving it. I'm having a great time, even if it does get a little intense sometimes because I'm trying to make a deadline. You know why they call it a deadline, right? It's because, you kill yourself trying to make it and you're dead by the time you get there. Isn't that a cool thing? Anyway, I think that's all for this edition of Dina James Vlog, volume 5, 6, 7, whatever. It's a volume something. Anyway, so that's all for now. And I really hope that you enjoyed listening to me whine, rant, scream, cry, angst, and woe. And stay tuned for another edition, maybe next month in about, 4 to 6 weeks. Yay! I'm like mail order. I show up every 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, thanks, bye.